Here we are. We are sitting down again. We already have alcohol, right? And we're here for Ghostbusters.
Amen to that.
Ghostbusters 2016. And that is... And we're improving things.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We keep adding. That's part of the goal. So, last episode, we kind of touched upon exactly what we would be doing this episode. And you and I both spent a bunch of time kind of, going over facts.
Right.
About the movie, all the movies, little things. But this is mostly a 2016 Ghostbusters focus. It's difficult to discuss this without
the 25 years of planned Ghostbusters,
sequels,
reboots, go-alongs,
and what some of the studio, how the studio functioned in a lot of that, how the talent functioned in a lot of that.
Talking to you, Bill.
Yeah, and so essentially, I have not seen 2016, the Ghostbusters 2016 until tonight.
I had seen it one time prior. I bought the Steelbook.
Yeah, very nice. And you're also one Steelbook down, right? You just need Steelbook Ghostbusters 2?
No. I have all three. I had the first two already. You got me the one. Yep.
Yeah,
the Best Buy exclusives.
Yeah, the pop art number 2 is just awesome.
Oh, I love all three of them.
Yeah.
If that one didn't come with art from the same guy that did the first two that I already owned, I probably wouldn't have bought Ghostbusters, which to me would have been a shame.
So real quick, what's the most addicting thing about Steelbooks? Like, why have they caught on?
Just the collectability, I guess. The
think
hardcore DVD pursuer, if you will.
So is it because most Steelbooks are retail exclusive? Right? Like there's no wide release retail book.
Very rarely.
Right. So
Immortal was one. That one had an initial run. Now it's just regular.
Yeah. So essentially, you have to hunt them down. You have to know what Best Buy has, what Walmart has, what
Target.
Yeah. And
Walmart really doesn't get them. It's mainly Target, Best Buy, and then if you go to obscure places, like I got my Demon Steelbook. It was one of 3,000 that this one website was making.
Oh, okay.
Because they had the rights.
Yeah.
And I only bought that for the art. I never saw the movie. But the art for that surpassed the regular Blu-ray so much. I was like, I have to have this for the art. And the movie turned out to be one of the best movies I watched this year.
Demon's awesome.
Right. Yeah. The movie thing. Oh, dude, I loved it. I never saw it before.
Real quick, have you seen The Witch?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. I might watch that tonight while I'm doing some work. Even though I kind of just want to sit down and focus on it. Because I just got like a run of a couple YouTubers and a couple of the reviews I dug up that people are really into that movie.
Right.
And
my one friend's into it. He told me I had to check it out. I just haven't got a chance to do it yet.
So I'm probably doing that soon. But getting back to the Steelbox. So they do have a collectibility factor.
Right.
I always liked their form factor.
You know what?
I always felt like they felt good in your hand. Like and so many DVDs, even like Criterion, like they're in regular cases. They felt chintzy,
right?
But the Steelbook actually feels good in your hand.
The thing that kills me. Movie Stop. Every now and again we get Iron Man, the first Steelbook in. Yeah. Every now and again the red outline
that's tough,
one.
Right? That's the hard
one.
Dude,
I saw that it was Amazon or eBay like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was like a $300 Steelbook.
What?
And I kicked myself because before Movie Stop went under, like it was like $15, and with my used movie discount,
But you know what it is? You have to always consider that what's available to you is not always available to others.
Right. Well, when you go on eBay right now, the Incredible Hulk Steelbook, the comic booky pop arty one, that one's like $20. No, the Edward Norton.
The Ed Norton.
They both got Steelbooks. Ang Lee's is actually higher because it's older, but Edward Norton's with shipping's like $20, $23.
Am I on the outskirts? if I say I like both of those movies.
I don't hate the first one. I like what they did with he's Absorbing Man, right? His dad and that.
His father is essentially Absorbing Man.
Right.
They essentially did the Peter David father, the origin to how Peter David is like the guy that nuanced the Hulk.
Okay.
Okay. He nuanced the Hulk mostly mid 80s, like all the way through the 90s, had an incredible run. And built the psychology of Bruce Banner up to where like the Hulk would be coming, like, you know, like what would create the Hulk inside Bruce Banner. And
right.
It was really just really like broken relationship, like punishing relationship he had with his father. And I just thought the Ang Lee movie kind of like nailed that.
With all the flaws that movie has, I will say I love the way that the movie transitions with comic book panels. For all the comic book movies, I don't see why they don't do that more often. Yeah, like make it feel like what it is. You're reading fucking comic book. For those of you that are listening for Ghostbusters 2016, I promise we're gonna get there.
No. Well, I think we like to discuss everything. And you know what? Let's just use that as a segue.
Right. We'll come back to we will eventually maybe do a Hulk Ang Lee versus Hulk MCU episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's much of a competition.
A segment.
Because I think like what you were saying before, I think the transitions for the Ang Lee Hulk was the time you saw that. Meaning that it was very expensive. Like it looks cheap, but it's actually not.
Really?
It's like every single one of those transitions is essentially a special effects sequence. Okay, because you have to like clip out areas and have like something isolated, and you move it in back. Like, you know, like, and that's like frame by frame type stuff. So they're very expensive. Like I remember there was one with like bushes, like when he was a kid. And there's like this spiky bush in the desert, and it just transitioned like away from the bush, and I'm just like, holy crap, dude, that took a lot of work. And it's almost like you kind of saw it done. You saw it done on a high level,
right? And
it's almost like do we need to see it again? Can we put our money towards something else? Okay, but okay. So let's just get into it. So in July 2016,
right,
we got Ghostbusters. Okay, and yeah, give me that. Sorry, we're trading papers real quick. So we're just going to essentially kind of run through what led up to that real quick. Okay,
right.
Now I do want to say, even now, okay. You have not heard and this is we're doing this beside the YouTube conversations and these conversations about the movie being like an activist type movie,
right? Being
a left wing Democratic movie, because you know Hollywood does lean left.
Well, they all love their pot. Leave them alone.
Yeah, and essentially, I never saw the movie up until right now.
Right.
I literally. No joking. Just stopped watching the movie 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
Okay. You watch.
It's replaying now on mute.
Yeah, we have it on mute. Just as like a reminder. So, one of these things I think a lot of people miss when they were breaking down Ghostbusters is that if you go through the production, everything that led into 2016, it's essentially a Bill Murray franchise.
Pretty much, yeah.
The franchise did not want to move forward without him.
Right.
Could not move forward without him. Okay? And during this time, you know, like leading up to 2010, 2012, he grew into a little bit of a cult status. He grew into a favorite of millennials.
It all started with Zombieland.
Yeah, it's like Zombieland kind of like solidified that. I do agree. I think it kind of did start with his Wes Anderson movies.
Right.
Okay, and I think the two of them somehow paired together in these like Rushmore, like in these like lighter tone type roles where it was essentially Bill Murray being Bill Murray in the Wes Anderson universe, and somehow that worked. It worked very well. Okay, so
Gotta fix my nugs.
So a lot of this during the Ghostbusters 3 development, Sony refused to move forward if Bill Murray was not involved.
Right.
Okay. So if we go back to 1989, I'm sure you're aware that there was a script called Ghostbusters Hellbent.
That one I'm not aware of.
Okay, so Hellbent wrote out Murray's character.
Okay. Yeah, this one I don't know.
Because he essentially was like, no.
Right.
Okay.
After 2, he just kind of had a bad taste in his mouth, right?
And Aykroyd, Ramis were like, well, we have to get him out.
Right.
Okay, so they wrote him out. That became Ghostbusters Go to Hell.
Okay.
Ghostbusters in Hell.
Right.
With Ben Stiller as the stand-in for Bill Murray.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% if Ben Stiller was a new character or if he was.
I feel like I heard rumor that pretty much Oscar was going to take over that role.
Okay.
Of like an older Sigourney Weaver's kid from 2.
Okay. So at this point, we're already at 2009. Okay. The Ghostbusters in Hell dissolved away when Bill Murray was just like still, believe it or not, still not interested. They wanted to bring him back as a ghost at that point.
Right.
Ghostbusters in Hell, which I think would have been genius, would have been one of those right decisions that you take from going through that type of development. Okay?
Right.
He still wanted nothing to do with it. So we jump forward to 2009 and we have this Ghostbusters video game.
I played that and I love it.
Okay. So the video game essentially sold around 1 million units.
Okay.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
Right.
Okay. And at that point, they went from 2009 video game success. The game had everyone involved.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
With the writing, with the voice acting. Dane Aykroyd went on record of saying this is essentially Ghostbusters
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't say this leading into this. I am paraphrasing what I pulled from Wikipedia.
Right.
And we were talking a little bit about this before we started recording. Just to clarify, we're going with what was on Wikipedia because I thought it was a good balance of what I already knew. And it had some tidbits of little things I did not know. And, we're just trying to give the broad strokes of what was happening. Okay, so 2010, they were going to film the new movie. Right. Video game sells 1 million. A year later, they wanted to film. A year later, 2011, they're releasing it.
That video game, by the way, total wraparound. The only person who people that didn't come back were the mayor.
Yeah.
And Rick Moranis, because he was just.
Yeah,
but like Peck ends up being the main bad guy, the dickhead from the first one. It like totally goes full circle. It's I think they even bring Zool back for like Stay Puft pops up. It's a great game. I
love it.
When I want to watch the third Ghostbusters, I play through the game again.
That's where you go.
It's got the playability.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch the cinematics on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube has the cinematics, so maybe we'll just do a straight up review of the cinematic version of the video game and add that to this. Okay, so all right, so 2011 rolls around, nothing happens.
Right.
2010, no filming.
Right.
So at this point, Dane Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, it's speculated that they have a clause with Sony that they have sign off on what happens with the franchise.
Right.
Okay, they have some type of ownership with the studio of the franchise. So, as you can imagine, okay, it's my assumption that this is really what prevented the movie from doing what it had to do. Okay, this prevented also Ghostbusters of not responding to trends that were happening that would have streamlined it.
Right.
Okay, this is also, I feel like, what led to 2016 feeling a little late for this type of reboot. because we're in this flood of reboots and updates right now.
Right.
Okay, and Ghostbusters definitely was on everyone's radar to come back.
Right.
I really do feel like this clause is what was preventing it from coming back. Now, these people are aging, they're losing a step, their humor is not quite there, so they were never cranking out stuff that the studio was like, let's put money into that. I think that's a little bit of the X factor. Now, I think that's revealed when, Ivan Reitman dies.
Harold Ramis.
Oh, I mean when Harold Ramis dies.
Yes.
Because he, I'm not sure if he was really involved with some of those decisions.
I feel like he and Dan Aykroyd owned it because it was always them battling Bill Murray.
Exactly.
Like you always heard Ramis and Aykroyd versus Murray, and you never really heard Hudson. So I always assumed that the property was theirs along with Reitman's.
So, I do agree with that. So I believe with his death that it somehow broke that agreement,
right?
Or it dissolved, and maybe just on a
Well, I feel like the studio realized they were never going to get the original four together again. Yeah. So if we get Bill or not.
Well, I think essentially some of it too is the studio is a studio.
Right.
The studio just wants to stay in business and make money.
Right.
It doesn't really care who's in the movie.
Exactly.
It just cares it makes a good enough product.
Excuse me?
It just wants a good enough product.
Right.
Okay. Because making movies is still a crapshoot. You can't guarantee you're going to make a good movie.
Exactly.
There's a lot of factors. So in 2010 and 2012, script. Everyone's working on it. That essentially killed the momentum.
Right.
These scripts were so bad. Studio wanted nothing to do with it. Okay. So Dan Aykroyd went on a PR blitz to defend these scripts and to defend where the project was.
Right.
This is a lot of where confusion and disinformation came from. No one really knows how involved Aykroyd was. But he said things like it's going to become an animated movie.
Which is apparently still in the works.
Apparently, yeah.
That's what the Ghost Corp logo in the front is.
Well,
when the movie opens.
So, quick side note. So, Sony committed a huge chunk of office space. I think they committed a building or a few floors of a building that were the Ghost Corps, and they were the Ghostbuster offices.
Okay.
Okay, because they viewed the 2016 movie as a ground zero for true franchise, Harry Potter level franchise
right
stuff, okay? Harry Potter, Marvel U, Star Wars, DCU, you get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when 2016 came in below expectations, and now I'm not saying audience, I'm just saying studio,
right?
The studio has a bottom line. They shut down those offices, people just lost jobs. Okay, so the Ghostbusters 2016 created as many jobs as it lost. But I'm pretty sure they're still very animated on moving the franchise forward, though.
Well, actually, the other day, Ivan Reitman just came out and said Sony has quite a few in the works, but I can't say anything about anything.
Yeah.
So that could be the animated, it could be the guy spinoff, it could be a sequel to the girl spinoff, a reboot to the girl spinoff. God only knows.
Yeah. So again, getting back, Bill Murray's lack of interest did not
it didn't help.
It was that's why it took years to explore new ideas without him.
Right.
Okay. So we go to 2014. Harold Ramis dies. Ivan Reitman left the director's chair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The scriptwriter of Tropic Thunder at that point became involved with the script.
Right.
Okay. Which is also another Ben Stiller reference. Right? Ben Stiller is somehow still connected to the Ghostbusters movies. Okay. This seemed to free up the property. So possibly this development.
I'm gonna grab a brew. You want one?
Yeah, give me another one. Yeah, you go. I'm just going to go through some of this, okay? And Norm's going to be leaving, but he'll be listening. So are you. So possibly with Ivan Reitman's death, there was a
Harold Ramis.
I'm sorry, I keep messing up here.
You're gonna start an internet rumor.
Yeah. This seemed to free up the franchise, and everyone agreed to let the franchise move forward. So, if we jump to while the movie was in production and being released, we go to our director, Paul Figgis, who also has a Funko Pop.
Really?
Were you aware of that?
No.
Paul
the
Figgis.
director has a Funko Pop.
Paul Figgis has a Funko Pop, value between $90 to $300. It was sold on the Funko website.
Well,
Okay,
I would just like to say
limited to 300.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's gonna go way up there.
Okay, so the studio at this point, the studio had a agreement, like a contract with Paul. I love that snap. This woman's name is Amy Pasqua.
Okay, right.
She was a part of Sony. She had a relationship working with Paul. She goes to Paul. She goes, Paul, would you like to do Ghostbusters? He goes, fuck no.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. Not. And she's like, what? Why? Why does everyone keep telling me no? And like as the story goes, Paul was very vocal, clear, and concise on why he didn't want to do it. The franchise was sacred. This is the line we do not cross.
Right.
There's people out there that will catch us slipping. And then at this point, I think what happened was like this kind of created a stream of consciousness for Paul. And he unpacked and discovered while unpacking what would make him interested in the movie. Like, what would make you interested to make a Ghostbusters movie? To kind of challenge this sentiment, okay? And so his intentions were clear, okay? And every single one of his intentions going into the movie was pretty much everything you would want to hear.
Right.
He was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you saw more technology? And
Ghostbusters have handguns now.
Yeah, and you saw like the origin of the technology, and these women were smart, and back to the women thing. Well, I kind of have a great working relationship with some of these women. Let's try and recreate some of the chemistry in the original, just with 4 women. He's has a working relationship with 2 of the 4 women in Ghostbusters 2016.
Right. Is Paul related to Kevin?
I am not really sure, to be honest.
Side note, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be.
Maybe we could figure that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah, Norm's gonna Google that. All right, so okay, so essentially, I keep saying essentially. I stopped that. So when Paul got wind that they were making the movie was greenlit. He sends out a tweet. Okay, and are you familiar with this tweet?
I am not.
Okay, so the tweet was, I have the tweet right here. It's official. I'm making a new Ghostbusters and writing it with, he gives the writer's name, Katie DePold, who's also collaborated with Paul. He goes, I'm making a new Ghostbusters movie and writing it with Katie. And yes, it will star hilarious women. That's who I'm going to call. So he sends that tweet out. Now, up until this point, Paul had an amazing relationship with Twitter. Twitter loved Paul. Okay? The people love Paul. Paul loved the people back. Okay?
They are not related, everybody.
Okay. Great. Excellent. There we go. Real-time research.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul, at this point, he understands the strength of social media.
Right.
Okay? He puts out a tweet, and in response, the first day, okay, the tweet was also October 8th, 2014. The movie has not yet been started shooting. Okay?
Right.
So, 2 years before the movie gets released, he puts out this tweet. First day, guess what happens?
The internet blows up.
No, the opposite. Adulation. People love it. People congratulate him. People think it's an amazing idea. Guess what happens the second day?
What?
The internet blows up.
Off by a day, damn it.
So, in 2014, 2 years before the release of the movie, we already have a social media savvy director misusing social media. So, it's interesting that the blowback was there.
Right.
The cry for help was already there. Now, does this mean people are sexist, feminist, not open-minded, not progressive? Or is it just something that didn't fit?
I think people just didn't want to see Ghostbusters without the Ghostbusters back. And for me, and I said it from the get-go, it had nothing to do with them being women. It died with Harold Ramis. This was before I saw the movie. But I didn't think it should have been touched after that.
Yeah, and you and I were in agreement to that. So, 2016 happens. Okay, and I'm just going to, I'm flipping my sheet here back a page. So, they're hitting the publicity leading into July. Okay, and so, like, for example, like you have the girls on Ellen, the girls are on Ellen, who, up until this movie, I had no idea who Catherine McKinnon was.
Me neither.
But holy shit, is she hot? Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't she fucking hot?
Oh, yeah. Dude. She makes this movie more than watchable for me.
So on Ellen, that girl is sexy as fuck.
She's why I want to see The Office Party. That Christmas movie coming out.
I didn't know she was in that.
Yeah, she plays like a secretary. Oh, you got to watch the trailer when we're done this.
So, I still cannot believe they downgraded her sex appeal in the movie. Okay? I think that was like a huge misstep.
Okay.
Huge. Okay? Not saying that women can't be portrayed otherwise. But there is a fantasy you want to behold to yourself or unlock when you go see a movie. Like, you do want to live in a fantasy world.
I got you.
So things should be fanciful. So, and also during this Ellen appearance, good little note, Leslie Jones was at one time a Scientology telemarketer. Okay. Which I thought was interesting.
Okay.
And during this, they just bashed Scientology. That was like the rest of the sit down with Ellen. And they asked, what's his name? Who's the
Hemsworth?
Wiggs. Catherine Wiggs.
Oh, Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiggs. I'm sorry. Yeah, they asked Kristen Wiggs what she was doing before she became like an actress, and she said, "I was a Scientology baseball coach," which was like a good little zinger. It shows how funny she is, like on the spot. Okay, so we hit like a BBC interview with Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, and so this interview kind of, they talked about the chemistry of everyone. The chemistry of the four was throughout all the publicity. That was one of their talking points. Seeing the movie, I definitely believe there was a chemistry. The chemistry, in my view, like kind of, lack of a better term, ghosted away after a certain point. Okay, but we'll dissect that a little bit later. And then with this BBC interview, it goes into these progressive type ideas. They talk about the interviewers flat out asked, like, do you feel we have really moved on? Like, have we moved on? Like, why can't people accept this idea? Have we really moved on? Because they're focusing on the four female thing,
right?
So what the blowback for the movie was, and then we have Wig saying, have we really moved on? It's disheartening. It's weird. That was a lot of stuff they were putting out. Okay, so they already know that the social media world is hooked in on this movie,
right? And
they're putting out kind of like statements that tell the audience, tell the people expecting this movie that they're kind of wrong, that it's labeling them. Okay, and that's the one thing people do not want to be is labeled.
Right.
Okay, and so at this point, Paul Figgis started his own like PR blitz. He goes off to people on Twitter. We fast forward a little bit, and we have the video game nerd, the angry video game nerd, do a video on why he doesn't want to see Ghostbusters 2016.
Okay.
The angry video game nerd is a gatekeeper for what we do. He's the one that decides and he has a big enough audience that he can control. He doesn't do it through malice, but for example, he just did this video on why Star Wars is great. It's a 10-minute video and like why is it still around? And it's a wonderful dissection of this weird combination that George Lucas cobbled together, Western samurai films to produce Star Wars. Okay, he puts out this video that essentially just said, like, to him, what he was seeing from the new Ghostbusters was not Ghostbusters. Like, okay, and he's very clear and eloquent in what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's no malice behind it.
Right.
There's no misogynistic tone. He just puts it out there. That now, at this point, it becomes this progressive leftist magnified movie that is just blowing up. And now everyone comes up through like the Twitter roots, and they attack you if you like criticize the movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, so some people might want to call that a unintended consequence. I definitely feel it was, but I do at this point though. If you track a lot of what they were saying prior to the angry video game nerds video, they were on a downward spiral,
right,
and selling this movie to the public. Okay, there was a AOL interview in the celebrity news. Okay, and it's almost like that interview too was just a little bit off, because they were talking about the movie less, and they were talking more about like why people don't want to see the movie. Okay, so that became a part of like the advertising, is these women would do part of their press tour, and they would be talking about why people don't want to go see the movie. Very odd. Like, right. I can't think of anything that's even close to that. So if we hit this New York Times article, okay, which was pretty, like, it was a pretty good article. It details everything. Okay, they asked Vegas, like, how did you arrive to the cast? And he basically says, like, he hired these women as he met them. Mm-hmm. Okay, like no intention. Okay, this is where people got confused. Okay, because people got confused that they thought the intention of the movie was this left-wing progressive intention to cram like this idea of 4 women down your throat, like 4 powerful women down mm-hmm. your throat. The men are portrayed as idiots, all these other things, which is true. The men right. are portrayed as idiots in the movie. But was that the intention? No. That's what it became.
Right.
Okay. So, New York Times asked questions. Does a movie with the ability to change people's minds for the better, does a movie have the ability to change people's minds forever? Like, that's what they're asking Paul Figgis. They don't talk to Academy Award winning directors like that. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't ask.
No one ever said, "Hey, Marty, what do you think Taxi Driver's going to do to the New York streets?"
Exactly. So now he needs to explain this.
Right.
So we lose a conversation about the movie, okay? Because Paul, from the very start, just wanted to be like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we know where the logo came from? Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we saw more of the technology? Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we got 4 people together with similar chemistry? Like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we saw more like of an explanation of this ghost world? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we saw bigger ghost set pieces?"
Right.
Okay. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we brought back these similar things you love? Slimer. The original cameos.
Member berries.
Yeah. Right. Okay. similar plot points. Wouldn't it be cool? So if someone tells you that, if someone sits down and says, we're going to remake Gremlins,
Right.
or we're going to remake Back to the Future,
Or Indiana Jones.
and they tell you these things, you're going to be like, okay. Like, I wish someone would give you the money to make that movie, because I think you got your, like, shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now what happens, right? What happens now?
So
we are 35 minutes into this.
Okay.
Where are you with this movie? I want to know. I want to know where you are. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to crack this open.
Yeah.
What is this right here?
That's some high C ecto core.
It is.
Yeah.
In the can?
Thank you. I've been interchanging it with my beer, sip for sip.
It's so unique. I do love this.
I hate that it's going away at the end of the month.
Stock up. I'm kind of happy because I've been using it as a mixer for forever. And everyone that comes here is sick of drinking it. I'm sick of drinking it.
I'll take them.
I might give you like, because I gotta move on to other things. It's such a unique thing. It's such a unique flavor. I don't want to say it's nostalgic.
No, it is. Every time I crack that open, I go back to third grade. Every time I take a sip, I'm sitting at that lunch table.
Oh, and real quick, do you have a bottle opener? Or these twists?
I do. I'll be right back, guys.
Gotta get my alcoholic keys.
I was
out of
gonna
my
say,
pocket.
grab that skull magnet right there.
You want the skull or Surly?
No, grab this. Oh, yeah, grab the skull. The skull. I usually have a bottle opener on every table that I live around, and we are just doing that. So this, you didn't get one of these, did you?
What's that? The elf? No, I gotta drive after
The
this.
Feedley's Brew Works Root Elf Reserve, 10.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
This is roughly 2 beers.
Yeah. I can stop after 2 with this one.
It's actually. Did you want to try it?
I have to give it a shot.
It's really good for being that strong, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not
It's
bad.
very smooth.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
It's got like a gingerbread taste to it.
2 of these will get you going.
Oh yeah, I used to drink Old Monkeys. They're like 12.6.
Yeah, that's or like
3 of those.
The Dogfish 90, dude. I was at this place called Sidecar a week ago, meeting up with this chick that's involved with this really cool startup in Philly. Just meeting up with her, talking shit. You know, we're kind of interested in one another, but you know, I showed up for brunch just to chit chat with her. And dude, I went through 3 of those 90 minutes, or 90 mile an hour Dogfish. Dude, like in a short amount of time, just because we were talking and shooting the shit and like kind of like eating. Holy man, dude, it hit me. It was like, and like, yeah, like your pupils dilate, you start seeing the future, the past, present, future, like at the same time, dude. And it's almost like I almost feel like I'm Charlie Day in like Always Sunny, where I'm just like talking real quick and I'm trying to be cool about it.
Guys, I gotta get. Where are we going? I got a raccoon in my trunk.
Yeah, you know what? Did you see that episode where he gets them past the health inspection?
Yes,
dude. That's
oh my god! You gotta do it, and you gotta be, and you gotta
and
get
then they give him no credit at the end, dude. That episode, just the way it's shot, because actually the end of when he's doing everything, I'm pretty sure it's one sequence. It's one shot.
So. Yeah, it is,
dude. And he keeps banging the stool, and then D sits on the stool, and he goes, "That's how you like make a joke stool or something. Like that's how you make a joke stool because she cracks right through it." Okay, so tell me about Ghostbusters 2016. I guess I'm gonna set you up a little bit. I want to say something real quick. You saw this. You said, "What the fuck?" You have to watch it. It's not what you think it is.
Right.
That's essentially it.
Pretty much. That's what I said after my first viewing.
You've had time to sit on it.
Right.
You kind of caught up a little bit on it today.
Mm-hmm.
You got up to the possession scene.
Right.
The Melissa McCarthy possession scene. And so where are you now?
I like it. I don't love it.
Okay. But you were kind of animated about it.
I was. The first time I watched it, I had 2 females in the room with me, and I was the only male. So their laughter may have been contagious to me. There's still some great one-liners. I still really like the but like I may have oversold it to you.
Yeah. So overall, in my opinion, my professional PhD Esquire opinion.
Oh yeah. In our pop culture degrees.
I feel like the movie had everything. They could not have put anything else in this movie.
Right.
But the movie still does not work.
Parts work.
Okay.
The second viewing is when I was like,
this holy grail.
Where does this
covenant Super Bowl trophy, Vince Lombardi trophy, Olympic gold medal chemistry that they were chasing,
right,
dissolves.
Yeah,
it does not work after a certain point.
If you watch, because I have the Blu-ray, if you watch the gag reels, you can actually see it throughout.
Yeah,
like,
there was in one of the interviews I referenced. It might have been in the BBC interview. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was the BBC. That they were surprised that Figgis was able to come out with a movie based on the way they were shooting, the way they were improvising. It sounded like from their point of view that it was like a little bit chaotic.
Right.
It was a little bit of a mess. That they weren't sure like what the story was sometimes. Okay. So if we go through the movie, I took notes. I have right here, I have 5 pages of notes. And I think I'm just gonna make this like a downloadable PDF.
Okay.
Just so people can, I might timestamp it too. Okay. Add a little bit more like to this because I'm really not done with it. So I kind of like The Office is one of those TV shows that I always put on Netflix.
Okay.
The Office is a show that very much resonates with me. I think it's hilarious. It cracks me up. I'm always quoting it, even though it's a little bit old now. I really don't care. So the movie starts, and Gabe, the guy doing the tour, is from The Office. His name's Gabe Lewis. Okay. He also makes. Did you catch his comment about elephants in that? He opens the one door and he goes, P.T. Barnum first had his idea to
enslave elephants here. Yeah, I caught that the second time. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. See, that is what pisses people off because it's like, don't take me to school. Like, I'm watching a movie. Don't take me to school. Like, I don't.
See, I didn't take it that way. I took it as he's just an off kilt. He might not all be there.
Maybe. Okay.
That's how I took it.
Yeah. So comparing this opening to the original, same idea, right?
Right.
And this one was like pumped up. 4 cracks, green ooze, special effects. Was it as effective as the original? I viewed it as it was as effective.
I would say.
Because
in the original, the opening is Bill Murray in a room with 2 people shocking them, right? Well, trying to hit on the hot girl and shocking the nerd.
Well, yeah, and then it goes to the
library.
To the library, right? So maybe that's what I'm referencing. I'm talking like maybe like the intro to like the ghost.
So like, the library we're talking versus
to the supernatural. Yeah, okay. I think they're both equally effective in just setting up just what's out there, like what's happening. Okay. And then. So, the original hits, they hit a song, right? They hit kind of like this upbeat, like score. Remember, like the girl, and it fades.
Oh yeah, no, that opens with the librarian. That's right.
It does open with the librarian.
The library and the cards start flying,
right.
And then she screams with the what? Yeah. Right,
and then it goes to like the Ghostbusters logo that kind of like swirls in there. And you're like, holy crap! Like it sets the mood. So at this point, the opening is similar to the original, the theme song. Why don't they play the theme song longer in 2016? The theme song is number one, hardly in the movie, and number two,
Right.
The theme song is so great that they did the odd thing of adding the lyrics to the theme song through characters.
Right. You know what would have been great, in all honesty, if they would have pulled a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze right here, because where we're at in the movie, where it's muted, they're about to beat up the Dragon Ghost over the crowd of people. If after they did that, it busted out Vanilla Ice style with them singing the song on stage.
Maybe, yeah. Or look, it's almost like after the opening scene in this movie.
Right.
I was very disappointed that they didn't have more of a theme and more of an introduction to the logo, into like the movie, into the title. You kind of wanted a little bit of a fun title sequence.
Right.
Even if it was like kind of like Michael Bay Armageddon style, where it's a little bit of a montage of people doing different things.
Well, they could have showed them going through school. Like, instead of telling the story later, like,
yes.
Show the two kids. Show them in high school doing the presentation. Show them as adults.
Yes.
Show the fallout. Now show her in college and her...
All to the Ghostbusters music.
Right.
100%. You're 100... Okay. What they did was, it felt rushed. And it didn't... Like, they could have even put you into the city.
Right.
The movie does not feel like it's New York at all. The movie could take place in any city.
Right.
The original Ghostbusters, both of them, felt New York. It felt like it was New York. Like
you in Central Park was a big player. I mean, you don't even get to see Ladder 8, if you will, until the last scene of the movie.
Okay, so the next scene, we are introduced to Kristen Wiig. Mm-hmm. So we start to foreshadow from this scene on.
Right.
Okay. The foreshadowing is that there's this it's weird to like ghosts. It's weird to think ghosts are real. You'll be ostracized. Okay.
Right.
She's a part of this. So they sell the shit out of it. The book, her being like paranoid by her tenor,
right.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a great plot to voice because it leads her to Melissa McCarthy.
Right.
Now, within this, we also have Ed Begley Jr. I wasn't expecting him. I love him.
Okay. Oh, from all those like the Mighty Wind and Best in Show.
Yeah, Ed Begley Jr. cracks me the hell up.
Okay.
Every single time. I love him. Okay. Now, he also forwards this Backlash that's coming. So here's the funny thing. So the movie itself had backlash over some of the decisions they made. Okay, you can say straight up creative decisions.
Right.
Inside the movie, there's backlash over what these people believe. Very similar. Like it really is art imitation life, imitating art, and so on. Okay, and we have another awesome. This movie's full of people, and I love. We have Charles Dean as or Charles Dance as the Dean. Lannister.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Lannister, the villain from Lace Action Hero.
Right.
Charles Dance
is
he's the man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like look into my eye. Okay, like
a Lannister always pays his debts.
Yeah. Okay, so we're introduced to Melissa McCarthy. Another great cameo, another great comedian. Karen Sony. He's Indian guy. He's been in a couple commercials. Great cameo by him. Okay. But again, the movie is full of people.
Oh yeah.
They established Melissa
Ozzy.
Yes, we should see Ozzy. Yeah, right here.
Black Sabbath did it in '76.
We have Melissa McCarthy established as eccentric. We have Kate McKinnon also established as goofy.
Which I want to go back to. How do you not think she's hot? I think her wackiness makes her hot.
Okay, so my whole feeling about her is that she is a complete waste. She's a no character in this.
Really?
She doesn't.
To me, she's the funniest.
She has zero. I'm not saying she doesn't have these like moments, but if you watch her and if you watch her in scenes, she adds nothing to scenes.
Except for being hot as shit.
Yeah, but they it's so much downplayed. I had to see her on the talk show to know she was attractive when she was done up. Yeah, and
Well, then you're not gonna like her in an office Christmas party.
yeah, maybe not. Okay, so
She's got the '90s blowout.
yeah, so and then we do something very nice in the initial introduction scene where you have the three of them.
Right.
Okay. There is good chemistry in this scene. And we also start to establish the science of Ghostbusters. Okay. They talk about the photons and things like that. Okay.
Right.
There's like, so they're building towards something here. Okay. So far, like, we're maybe 20 minutes into the movie. A lot of the groundwork has been laid, and it's been somewhat artfully laid, purposefully laid. So, and then we see some of the prototypes, and then we go to, they kind of go outside. There's Pringles. There's a Pringles product placement. I kind of kept track of some of the product placement because it's
Makes
Pringles, Papa John's, Sabrat hot dogs. Okay, like really cool. I love product placement. I don't know why people knock it. It's a part of movie making, especially big movies. Go for it.
What'd you pop?
Okay, so and then we see the first ghost, right?
Right.
Okay, the first ghost. So up until this movie, everyone said that these were Scooby-Doo special effects, Scooby-Doo ghosts, that they were muddy and smoky.
See, it almost
and
takes me
foggy.
back to like the Haunted Mansion in Disney.
Yeah, so I had no problems with how the ghosts were stylized.
No. I loved the Crypt Keeper face on that first ghost when she starts to vomit the goo. I loved that they brought back the ghost from Ghostbusters 2 in the subway, the electric chair, like one of the brothers, if you will.
Yes.
Like, they all work.
Yeah.
They all look good.
I'm
That's why, like, even if I only watch this movie once a year, it's gonna get thrown in the Halloween pile because those ghosts are just so gnarly looking.
Yeah, and during that scene, there's a nice like purple glow highlighting their faces.
Right.
So we jump forward a little bit, and Kristen Wiig gets fired from her job.
That's when we see. No, it's before that.
Yeah.
We see a little bust of Harold Ramis in the hallway.
Yes, we do. Yes, which is probably the best cameo, I think. And
It was a nice little. It's on par with like Sean Connery's statue or Marcus Brody's in Indiana Jones 4. One of the only highlights of that movie.
yeah,
Which is sad that two of the characters are dead to make it a highlight.
I would like to revisit that. I haven't not seen Crystal Skull since the theater. Yeah, I figured. So we have
There's no saving it.
So we have something interesting. So the dean of the college, played by Charles Dance, is sitting down with the scene cuts to him watching a YouTube video.
Right.
Okay, of Wiggs like ghosts are real, and obviously it's on YouTube.
Right.
Okay. So, and they kind of make a comment of the comments on YouTube. This is something that's echoed throughout the entire movie. The movie has a huge emphasis also on social media. Irony, poetic justice, fate, destiny, that the very people who wrote and produced the movie about social media, like the social media influence of the like in this world, had no idea how to push the movie on social media, had zero understanding of what to do with social media in the real world when it came to promoting their multi-million dollar, $100 million movie tentpole franchise push by Sony Pictures. No one understood what to do on social media with Ghostbusters, despite the movie having an emphasis on social media. I think it's very ironic. So at this, so here we have an introduction to Leslie Jones. Now, a lot of people said Leslie Jones was the best one of the four. Where are you with her performance?
9 out of 10.
Really?
Not staying Kristen Wiig. There's maybe 3 movies I like her in. This being one of them.
Okay.
Paul being the other. Because how can you not like Paul? She can't kill that movie.
Yeah,
for
Paul's
me.
just
She's in The Martian, right? She's one of the ground control, or am I confusing that with Interstellar?
Oh, I'm not 100% because
Well, either way, either one of those she was in, I
Yeah.
can stand her. Anything beyond that, I don't like Kristen Wiig, and I liked her in this.
Yeah.
I feel like
She and Melissa McCarthy, or not she, Leslie Jones and Melissa McCarthy were miscast in
Yeah,
this.
I like the so I'm on the opposite.
You don't like.
I don't like Lazy Jones. I don't like McKinnon. I
don't like Jones either. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's really tough to have people to bounce off of, Wiggs and Melissa McCarthy. I really do. I think the two of them are the only two that kind of have pop or like a little bit of a flow within the movie. But so we're introduced to Leslie Jones's character, and what they do is they immediately set up her value to why she's a part of the team. Do you remember that?
Right, she knows New York.
She knows New York.
and
Now-
she can get him a car.
Yeah. Now at this point,
Side note, I
Yes.
think Quantum of Solace might be Sony's last actual hit moneymaker wise. I'm trying to look into this right now because I know they've had a string of bad luck up until this Spider-Man reboot that's coming. But I don't really remember them knocking any out of the ballpark recently.
Not Quantum. They the James Bonds make a lot of money.
Well,
Skyfall. And,
I forgot Skyfall came out. The list is like 300 plus movies.
Yeah,
so.
Skyfall and which one? I'm missing one. Spectre. Yeah, Spectre.
Did that one make money though?
They just James Bond will go forever. Yeah,
Fair enough.
What doesn't happen here, it will easily get made up overseas. Universally loved. And they get all the endorsements. So that movie is just always positioned.
Oh, it's James Bond. He's been around for. He
probably
has the biggest movie franchise out of any movie franchise.
Out of numbers,
in general, sequels. Maybe Jake Ryan rivals him, but when you think about how many people play Jake Ryan, or Jack Ryan,
well, I think when it comes to money, I'm pretty sure it's still right. It's got to be Harry Potter or Star Wars, money wise.
I'm talking character.
Yeah.
And overall years of
I'm not sure,
making movies.
I'm not
for
sure.
them.
The second to James Bond might be Tarzan, who's had the most.
I
sequels.
could see that.
Yeah, because
the studios flip that all the time, right?
Well, not just that. There was a time where they just made Tarzan movies, for Edgar Rice Burroughs.
You 1930s women in your jungle, man. Something wrong with you.
Edgar Rice
Good thing they don't know
Burroughs,
how to use computers.
who also created John Carter Ghost of Mars. John Carter Ghost of Mars was ripped off, and
Did you ever read any of those? The original.
I believe it. I have all of them on my Kindle.
Okay.
I wanted to track those down when the movie was coming, and then the movie hit, and I was like, maybe not.
They're
I know the movie and the literature are complete, but it just.
But John Carter is also
the books were really expensive when I looked them up too.
I think you can get collected.
I was looking for the books.
John Carter was essentially the genesis of Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. So for some reason people caught on with those. They never could catch on. John Carter also.
Well, did he ever have maybe they read John Carter and made Buck Rogers?
Well, it's
I feel like the first incarnation was the Disney attempt with Gambit.
Taylor Kirsch.
They I think it's Fletcher Studios that are famous for the Superman cartoons.
Okay.
They were the first ones I think to tackle John Carter, and they wanted to merge live action with animation. John Carter was in a studio loop and a development loop for decades. Okay, and it is one of those movies that the ideas, the technology really had to catch up to what the ideas were.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think he might be referenced in one of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, but
stories.
But the other thing though too with John Carter is that once they got done that movie, huge failure in marketing.
Right.
It's one of the all time marketing failures.
Which is not a bad movie. It's a shame.
It's a movie definitely could have held up. Definitely could have got sequels.
Part of me wonders if that would have taken off if Disney would have been interested in buying Star Wars.
Well, no, you're always interested in buying Star Wars.
But
like, hey, Disney had Guardians of the Galaxy. They still bought Star Wars.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
You're always interested in Star Wars.
Fair enough.
Dude, the Star Wars fanatic with a room full of Star Wars toys that just has everything in Tupperware and you can barely open the door still has room for Star Wars. Okay.
I do. He's speaking about me. I do.
Okay. So if we go into the movie, so I just want to face forward here a little bit. So the movie has when they buy the Chinese, they rent the Chinese place. Okay, they move into the headquarters. This is the first of a few very odd dance sequences.
Right. Which 90% of the blooper and gag reel is Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig dancing while the other two stare at them angrily for dancing. Yeah,
so it's really weird that even at the end...
here we are.
Yeah,
at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, even it's really weird that even the villain at the end makes people dance. This movie is full of dancing, and none of it works on any level. It's actually awkward. It's weird, and it just doesn't fit. It kind of feels forced. It feels like it's there because maybe that's all they had. So now we go into Thor. Thor gets introduced post dance scene.
Right.
Okay. And we have another maybe like origin. We have a reference. Melissa McCarthy says there is something strange in this scene. Okay. So throughout the movie, they place the lyrics of the Ghostbusters theme song throughout the entire movie, which is, I guess, part of it, like a lyrical cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's ever been done before. Interesting. Works, whatever. Like, I don't really care. Should that have been your focus when you have other things possibly not clicking? Sure. So where are you with Thor? Where are you with Hemsworth?
He's got some good one-liners.
Okay.
That's about it.
I think he was a complete waste. I'm not sure what purpose he served.
I just like the density of him.
I don't really even see the value of that because it would be different if Wiggs ended up with him at the end. I mean, if there was some attraction because they were setting that up.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the...
See, but they're not really. She's attracted to him. He's in his own little world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he loves himself.
Yeah.
I love that. But the whole movie, she's pining for... so I've decided I'm going to do you guys a favor and join the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not. She's grinding on him. He just walks out of the room.
Which is kind of... Which is weird. Like, none of that feels... Look, a lot of times you need... For humor to work, you need, like, a setup.
Right.
And you need anticipation.
He's random. That's the... He pops up, he says stuff, then he's off screen.
It's just weird, but they also make him a complete idiot. Now, Rick, like, just... Yeah, and I'm not saying this has to be anything like the original.
Right.
Okay? But if you look at Rick Moranis, it's almost like don't go full retard. Like, Rick Moranis retarded in Ghostbusters.
Not at all.
But no, you can't say that because he has a giant business. A giant business enough to fool it.
Right.
Like, fool his apartment full of clients.
Mm-hmm.
He's an accountant. Lives in a...
He just can't remember to not lock himself out
of
his apartment.
He's just like He's just a weirdo.
He's a nerd.
He's a little bit retarded.
He's antisocial,
but not
obviously,
full retard.
Because his party is full of clients because he doesn't have friends to invite.
So,
but it's a tax write-off, so it's okay.
The interview with Hemsworth also has the Michael Cat joke.
You got me there. I don't know.
Where he goes, "Can I bring my cat to work?" Melissa McCarthy says, I'm allergic to cats. He goes, "It's not a cat." And then you know, the other girl says, "Are you saying my hat?" And Hemsworth says, "No, it's Michael Hat. Mike, I call him Mike Hat. That's the name of my cat." That's a joke in the movie.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's horrible. Now, and we also have a setup for the origin of the Ghostbusters logo, which
Right.
at this point I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, they actually set that up because they just established that they were communicating with him before, and he had logo ideas." That complete failure.
Right.
You don't get the origin of the logo
Until the subway with
Until-
the graffiti.
until essentially 2 scenes later.
I shall return.
Yes.
You need anything?
No, I'm good. We're
Are you gonna be in earshot?
just,
I'll continue.
pause there. Yeah. Okay. Reading up a little bit. Well, I'll break down some of these other things. So at this point, they go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop this. The original, right? One of the, I guess, maybe all-time funniest scenes, funniest gags in the elevator
Right.
when they power on the proton packs.
And everybody cowers in the corner.
Yeah, like that's going to do anything if it explodes.
Yeah.
Okay. That scene is so there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that whole movie, the whole first one is subtlety.
Yeah.
From the line to it. It's true, sir.
So
This man has no dick.
yeah, it's so bad. So,
Dickless over here, Open Arc Entertainment Center.
yeah. Okay, so now we have something similar. We have a first-time use of proton packs
Right.
in Ghostbusters 2016.
Right. We have the
And we-
soft phallus at
and-
first.
Yeah,
And
we
then
kind
have
of
the-
we have a dick. We have a dick joke.
The
one-
fire hose after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Underzealous, overzealous.
Yeah, and we don't have any sense of danger. We don't have any anticipation. We don't have any excitement. There's no vested interest in the scene.
I'll give you that. Because
Okay.
the train's barreling down and the whole time
And
you don't
ju-
even.
you don't care.
Right.
Okay. So and here's the other thing. This is also the first action sequence within the movie. Okay. Completely falls flat. Falling flat is somewhat of a theme throughout the movie where these gags just don't get over repeatedly.
Right.
And we also have another YouTube reference in this movie. And again, they attack the user base of YouTube. So throughout the entire movie now they're establishing a thread of attacking social media users. So men have limp dicks. Men are idiots, Chris Hemsworth. Anyone that uses social media is a complete fucking moron. Okay? This is also carried over to their press junket and their press tour that I referenced earlier. Ghostbusters 2016 does not want social media to exist on any level, which is weird, very, very staggering. Since if they listen to social media in October 2014, when Paul Figgis originally did that tweet I referenced earlier, he maybe would have known that his initial juicing of the orange, the thing that got him up to do this movie, was a bad instinct. He would have known. Okay, so plasma pack sequence complete failure. We jump to the next scene. They're back at their apartment or back at the Chinese restaurant.
Right.
Papa John's pizza placement. I don't care. I love pizza. And we get a little bit of the Christian, the wig story, her character story.
Right.
Also good. And then like the ghost, at this point I kind of realized that the ghosts in this movie don't have any whimsy to them. There's no humor to the ghost. Now, in both Ghostbusters, they were sold the humor of the ghosts. The ghosts were like, even though scary looking, but they were still fun. They were still funny. Like I remember one time there was like, a zombie cab driver,
Right.
And it was just, and they
I always called him the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, and the guy pulls around, and the guy's like, no, and it's just so like you just get it, like it's just funny, it just works. None of the ghosts, even the ones up until the end, are funny in Ghostbusters, and which is weird because you can do anything with a ghost.
Right.
There's so many things you can do to make it right. You could just, your imagination is the limit. So, and then we have a news broadcast origin of the Ghostbusters name. They unlock that. They tell you where the name Ghostbusters come from, and then that is your Bill Murray cameo, also your first one.
Right.
Okay, and then they get a call. Chris Hemsworth again falls flat, doing a phone gag. Another origin. Leslie Jones gives us the origin of the jumpsuits. We see where they come from. Kristen Wiig leaves her boyfriend. And then we have they go on a little bit of a sequence here, and we get the theme song finally.
Right.
The Fall Out Boy theme song. And where were you with the re-recording, the reimagining of the theme song?
The first time I didn't like it. The second time when I was rewatching it, I wasn't really listening to it, and I was kind of like tapping to the beat because I was all over. Like I had just gotten home from work, so like I feel like the second time when I wasn't as scrutinizing of it, it wasn't as bad. Yeah. But then there were still lines that I did catch that I was, you're so on the nose with this shit.
Yeah, it's that's kind of exactly where I am.
Right.
I
like their tone, the lyrics.
I feel like
they should have just re-sung the original Ghostbusters song. It would have been great.
I feel like I want to hear it outside the movie, because Fall Out Boy, in my opinion, is talented as a motherfucker. You don't get any more talented as a band as Fall Out Boy. They're another like anomaly that they kind of fallen off, lack of a better term, pun intended there. But they back to back 2 great albums.
Right.
Okay. Fall Out Boy 2 also had the press behind them. They were hyped to kind of be like a Foo Fighters level longevity type band. I think it was great that they did the movie. Good exposure for them.
Mm-hmm.
Did not work in the movie though.
No.
I just think there was too many like riffs almost in their version.
Right.
Okay. So we gotta talk about something here. The thing I was just the point I was just making about the ghost not appearing to be funny. There's no because even the original librarian ghost, when she it's like you fucking bitch, like you bitch, like
give it up, you're dead.
Yeah, like we all know you're dead. Like what are you doing? Okay, just nonstop funny stuff. Okay, Slimer with the hot dogs in his mouth, just like okay. So we have a possessed mannequin.
Right.
A walking mannequin.
Which I feel like they got from Mythbusters. Let's bring Buster to life, guys, and we'll fuck him up.
One of the first comics I ever owned was a issue of Detective Comics where he fights mannequins, where Batman fights mannequins. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, and it's one of the creepiest, and it's all fiery. There's fire throughout. It's like really weird. It's so creepy. Okay? It used to freak me out just looking at it. That and the cover of a Firestorm drawn by Pat Broderick, who I worked with him. I did his website. A wolf, like a werewolf Firestorm cover. And that he drew that fucking like dog face. So creepy. Those 2 books freaked me out as a kid. I don't even know why. So I got a little bit flashback with the mannequin on this. So I don't understand like why a ghost is possessing a mannequin. If they could possess mannequins, wouldn't they have unlimited power?
Right.
It doesn't fit. It's weird. The mannequin's creepy. None of the gags work in that scene either. Okay, and then here we go. We have a scene that they pushed in all the trailers. We have a scene that is a little bit of one of the pins that was intending to hold up the movie. And this is the demon concert scene that we already talked about.
Right.
Ending in Ozzy Osbourne, which was the best part of the scene. I'm confused with this scene. Because is the demon possessing Leslie Jones at one point? If the demon could possess a mannequin, why wouldn't it just fly into someone in? So there's so much potential in this scene based on the power and some of the properties we've already seen the ghosts perform, that they have the rules in place for this to really be a scene.
Right.
Not sure what happens. They just move through the crowd. You have a black lady joke. They make the reference, right? This is when they make the reference of "Don't cross the streams."
Right.
They reveal that.
Yep.
The overall scene, I thought, was not climactic. It didn't seem to build to like a crescendo, but the scene had potential. The scene really could have made. I think that scene could have made the movie to that point. Okay. So, and that scene ends. And the best gag in that scene, the best two gags in that scene, we've already saw in the trailers.
Right.
I don't know if it's a lady thing or a black girl thing, but I'm pissed. And the selfie, which I thought the selfie was funny as shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, and then we have the subway scene, the origin of the Ghostbusters logo.
Right.
Like, is this the first movie to have the origin of a logo?
Probably. Well, what other movies really have logos besides the X-Men?
Well, I was going to say other than a superhero, like someone designing a superhero costume.
Right.
Which is different. Like, because the Ghostbusters they just had a logo. They were running a business. They were trying to they were greedy. They were trying to make money.
Right.
Like you got to put something on the side. Okay. So, do we have like a George Lucas rock salt scenario here, where like don't explain to me where ice cream comes from. Ice cream comes from rocks. It's a Patton Oswalt bit.
Okay.
Where he compares the Star Wars prequels to rock salt, where you love ice cream and you don't give a shit if it's made from rock salt. You just want to enjoy the ice cream.
I feel you.
That's how he views episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Makes sense.
I think some of that's here. Especially if you're committing a whole sequence to a graffiti artist spray painting a logo. So, and then post logo scene, we jumped back to the headquarters where the 4 women have successfully trapped their first ghost, the demon ghost. And what are they? You remember what they're doing? How this scene opens?
Oh, they dancing.
They're dancing to DMX.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
The DMX.
What song?
It's DMX. I know it's DMX.
Is it? I thought it was like, it's getting hot in here.
No, that's like, I think that's Cisco. That's Cisco. They're dancing to DMX. I know DMX.
Okay.
You can look it up.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, yeah.
No,
but
it's
anyway,
okay.
but okay. And then so we have 2 bad dance sequences now. And now we have Bill Murray's scene.
Right.
Who I think if his scenes were good, it definitely would have made the movie passable for most people. Okay, now I will say that I don't feel this is a bad movie.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just interested in what's not working in the movie, where and why. Okay, and when movies get to a certain point where they don't kind of like turn the corner or come over that initial hill, they do not get back up the hill.
Right.
Okay, it's either you gradually move up the hill or you don't. And this movie kind of does that. It reaches a point and then it flatlines. So Bill Murray scene.
Right.
And death.
Yes. Yeah. One of the first deaths in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Kind of, right? I never thought his character, like, it seemed like he was playing a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
He never plays characters. He's always Bill Murray. Even when he's Hunter S. Thompson, he's, yes. You know,
In what?
Bill Murray portrayed Hunter S. Thompson.
In what?
I forget the name of the movie.
Well, shit.
Yeah, he portrayed Hunter S. And I want to say the Buffalo House. Oh, I forget the name of that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you can we can look that up real quick.
It's like back in the Ed Wood days.
Yeah, let's see.
Back to.
Yeah, hold up here. There you go, Hunter S. Hold up here. We are bringing it up. Okay, so and then we have another cameo that I was not expecting, which is here we go. Hold up here. I am okay. We're the Buffalo Room.
Okay.
Okay. 1980 semi-biographical comedy film which loosely depicts author Hunter S. Thompson's rise to fame in the 1970s.
Okay.
Okay. So Bill Murray is acting, I guess. No one wants to see this. People want to see Bill Murray, even if he's playing a different character other than Peter Venkman. He dies. You don't feel a hair on your head stand up when he dies.
Right.
No shock.
I didn't know he died the first time I watched it.
Okay.
I thought that the dragon flew him away. Like, I didn't pick up. Again, I was drunk and I had two women.
Well, I don't
in my
understand.
ear.
Like, you can't have a sound effect. I don't think there was any sound effect that accompanied a body hitting the ground.
Nope.
And
It's just the window smashing, and then it takes you down to the street where they're like, well, who threw him out the window?
And then we jump to the mayor, Andy Garcia, who I love.
Yes.
I always like him.
Yes.
Okay. Wiggs is horrible in this scene.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah, it's another. I think Wiggs. No, I'm sorry. Wiggs is good. McKinnon is horrible in this scene.
Okay.
She's just horrible. Okay, it's another over explaining. Okay, and the scene ends with a car. Another. They had multiple car gags in this movie. They all fail. 3 car gags. This is the second car gag where I think she's trying to walk in and they're speeding up the car walking. No, that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like where Wiggs is walking up to the Ecto 1 and they pull away while I think her ex-boyfriend's watching.
Yeah.
Really weird. Okay. And then we have we jump to a technology second training montage for technology. Okay. So
Slimer's on everybody.
Yeah. And then at this point, the second training montage is no different than Q just giving James Bond things with no explanation.
Right.
So,
This pen explodes,
right.
James. Click it 3 times and run away.
Yeah. So initially, the movie was set up with these deep scientific principles and ideas and precepts on what's existing and what's happening with the supernatural. Two of the 4 main characters are established as technology scientists, inventors, creators, innovators. We have a second technology training montage or sequence that at this point has 0 explanation to what's happening with the weaponry.
Right.
And at this point, like you've set up the characters to give nuanced detail about what's happening. Doesn't happen. And then, okay. So we now jump to the revelation scene of what's happening, which is we have where was that at? Oh, it was at Fifth and Broad. Where was that at? 19th and Arch.
Yeah, it was 27th and 6th.
And then we have
it's delay lines. It's delay lines.
a drawing of the map scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'm just glad it didn't form a pentagram.
Yeah,
because they always form a pentagram.
So here's the thing. She hears the address and she's like, "Oh," and I'm thinking like, okay, it's going to be something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an X,
right?
How would you visualize that? She didn't even have all the addresses. Mm-hmm. Like she's told the rest of the addresses. So at this.
She knows 3 of them.
Like what are we doing here? And it just makes an X. So what was that even? That means nothing. And then we also have the MacGuffin, a magical. We're watching the horrible Stay Puft cameo here, right?
I liked that it was a parade balloon instead of actually being like they brought the Marshmallow Man back.
Where were the balloons from?
I don't know, man. I didn't write the damn thing. Ask Paul Feig. I don't know.
They just appeared out of nowhere. These balloons.
There's only one.
No, there's a whole alley of them.
I'm calling shenanigans.
No, there's a whole alley of them. No,
only one that matters.
there is one that matters. But also keep in mind, in the original Ghostbusters, Stay Puft had a cameo prior to his appearance. While she was featured on Sigourney Weaver's Groceries, and he was on the side of a building.
I didn't know the building. I know she buys Stay Puft marshmallows.
You're telling me you can, in your infinite wisdom, you don't think that's a better cameo than what we just saw?
I didn't say that original. We're not comparing.
We're not. But
we're talking about this one, and that was a nice cameo. I'm glad he wasn't made out of goddamn marshmallow.
Well, here's a little bit of my contention with this movie. Because we're discussing it, we're not really bashing it. I felt like the callbacks and the cameos were as effective as what they did with Star Wars Phantom Menace. And we kind of touched on this before, where when you see Jabba the Hutt, when you see the Tusken Raiders, when you see, I'm just forgetting some of them. Yeah, right? Is Boba Fett in Phantom Menace? I think no. Wait, of course.
No, you got Tusken Raiders.
Oh, no. Even Boba Fett in the special edition of New Hope. There's no gravity to those cameos. And they mean nothing.
Yeah.
They never mean anything. Easter eggs mean something. Because people really like to dissect it. But when you have like a cameo that doesn't have groundwork to it, it's horrible. Like, again, you can't have Jabba the Hutt do something more in episode 1 rather than be on screen. Like, you can have him do something.
Yeah.
Like, give me interest. Give me a reason. Okay. So, second training montage, map connecting scene. Okay. There's no... One of the things I was expecting in this that I did not get was there was no catching ghost montage. I thought there would be a catching of the ghosts, of the weaker, littler ones montage.
No, we get a slaughtering ghosts, ripping them to pieces montage.
And we will talk about this. let us wait, okay? I thought where are you with the villain in this? Could you follow?
Which one?
Okay, the supernatural one that possessed, I think, Rudy. The
logo. Then
the guy that becomes the logo, yes.
Okay.
The spirit that, like, will you, like, so here's one of the things. So, like, the movie happens and we get all of our main characters and they're going through all this stuff and they lose boyfriends and lose jobs and move in together.
Right.
And then we have villain. And then stuff, a little bit of villain. Every time the villain reappeared, I forgot that he was even in the movie.
Makes sense.
Like, I wasn't really...
Well, it doesn't help that they body hop him. He goes from the... I like his plan. He has a solid plan. I'm going to kill this body, but then I'll come back as a ghost, and I'm even stronger because then I could do all this shit, and they won't know.
Yeah,
it all worked, his plot. Like, and he even makes Chris Hemsworth smart for everyone who's hating a little bit of a dumb in this.
Okay. So we also have they have a confrontation with the villain.
Right.
Where they actually have a gag that works. one of the first gags that works in the movie. I think the pester gag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like
I'm gonna pester them into the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna pester
I'm gonna
them
pester
into,
their arms off, and they're gonna bleed everywhere.
And she's like, I think we have a different definition of pester. Okay, like,
you're thinking of apocalypse.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then so we're pretty late in the movie, and now we have the government stepping into the storyline.
Right.
Okay.
Which is where some people think there's potentially that Bankman actually died when he hit the ground there, because that was Bankman and not Dr. whatever.
Okay. So the government's opposition and scheme in this movie just seems to be a unnecessary obstacle.
Well, that one, the
girl.
No, not the girl. The redhead who watching.
Oh, okay.
His whole drawn out 3-minute bit in the street between the two cars trying to be the tough guy.
I'm sorry. That was the second car gag I was referencing.
Okay.
Yes.
That was just so come
weird
on.
and awkward, and you're just
I'm watching you, and I'm gonna sit on your lap, but I'm not. I gotta go to this car. I'm rolling the window down, and you're on. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. Like, come on. But that's that guy's character in every movie.
It is, but it just doesn't. But it's you know what it is. It's another guy, and you know what it is. It's a little bit of like onomatopoeia, or they try and use like the 3 rule, which is the third time you see something, it's funny, like you expect it or you understand it. I like that they did that in this. They actually, the slime gag, the girl always stepping in the slime, wigs always stepping in slime, multiple car gags, dancing, okay. They really, and I guess the final car gag would be Slimer, like Slimer stealing the car at the end. Okay, so those are tried and true comedic. They do sometimes in action movies when there's like a new weapon introduced. The third time the guy uses the weapon, like Blade with the glaive or whatever.
I'm pretty sure Han used Chewie's Bowcaster twice in The Force Awakens before he says, "I really like this."
Exactly. Okay. So
let me see that thing.
Yeah,
it's the first one.
Yeah. Okay. And it's a tried and true technique, because look, your intention is to escape, is to make people escape for 2 hours.
Right.
Okay. So here's the thing. So the government is just weird in this. I don't like that they're undermining the Ghostbusters. Because the Ghostbusters should be a celebration of New York City.
Well, the last Ghostbusters got turned inside out, and they're not alive anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That's referenced. It happened.
Yes.
We heard it.
And then
from the government.
And then we have between us, we have another social media. They knocked social media again, which now at this point should be the third or fourth time that they've knocked social media. When I was watching this, so we're here to where I was just kind of like, holy crap. I'm like, well, when does the extended cut end? Because I was like, wow, man. I was like, and
2 hours, 16 minutes.
Yeah, I still had movie left, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then we have like the movie feels like it's ending at this point because the villain is vanquished. We kind of know he's still there. The guy interviewing them on the iPhone, they punch him out, call him an idiot. You live in your mom's basement. This is now also like the type of person that tore your movie down and made it a complete failure.
Right.
By the way, ironic prophecy, self-fulfilling prophecy. I believe it was a self-fulfilling prophecy with this. Okay. And then we have Wig's wonderful plot device where she's like, oh, the villain read my book. Let me sit down in my bed and flip through my book that the villain owned. And the villain literally drew
his plan in the book.
Pictures. Here we go. Okay. And now at this point, the movie doesn't build an end. Like, I always feel like this is a little bit of like, remember how I felt with Suicide Squad, where when they rescued Waller,
Right.
That felt satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
If that was your journey, I would have been like, oh my God, they did such a good job with this. And then they fought the Enchantress.
Right.
And then you're like, WTF. Okay. This movie, very similar. Believe it or not, if the movie ended on this note, I probably would have been like, oh, wow, okay. Like, it's a good foundation. Okay. Like, everyone has their view on who's funny in this.
Right.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way comedy works.
Right.
Success. And the movie, at this point, the movie continues. And so, I guess we have one more page here, okay? So, my final page here is where this movie completely flies off the rails.
Let's pause it there.
Okay. We're going to pause it real quick.
Right now.
And Norm is dancing. This is why we got to be on video.
Oh, yeah, you guys would have loved that. The old Hamilton P dance. It goes back 4 generations from Ireland.
Okay. We're going to get serious here.
Okay.
Real quick.
Let's do it.
The possession scene.
Okay.
Okay. So we're post climax now, rebuilding to the re-entry of the villain.
Right.
Possession scene. The fuck. I don't know what the intention of this movie was, other than, or of this scene was, other than you could have just had the demon possess Hemsworth,
Right.
and move on.
I think somebody bet Paul Feig that he couldn't get every Exorcist reference into one scene, so he did it.
Yeah, that
We have pea soup green coming out of orifices that it shouldn't be.
got
We have a head spinning.
the head spinning.
We have violent attacks.
Yeah. Now, I'm probably going to sound like a complete a-hole. Won't be the first time in my life that I'm sounding like an a-hole.
Yeah,
but
it's every day.
when the girl's dangling out the window, McKinnon, the hot one, and Leslie Jones is holding her by one arm.
Right.
What are we doing? In no way did that even feel real. And no,
While she's fighting her off with the other arm.
it would never happen.
Right.
Sounds then, and the reason why I'm getting is that because these are women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whatever. Scene completely useless. Okay, and then Kevin gets possessed.
Right.
Thor gets possessed, and then we're just going to face forward a little bit. We're going to do the summoning of the ghost. The villain comes back, does his job, opens up the portal,
Right.
and guess what? I think maybe it's like one of your first successful ghost-driven sequences in this movie. It's all special effects, though. Like there's not downplaying anything, but it's easier to nail something like this. The rat ghost, the rats coming out of the subway, I thought were funny. I think all the ghosts are funny. Success. Opening of the portal, success. We have success number 2. The Dan Aykroyd sequence.
Right.
His cameo.
Which also adds a little bit of credence to that either alternate reality or
Correct.
This isn't the first time that this has happened and we've swept it under the rug type deal.
Right.
Because he just happens to know what a class 5 vaporization up on 4th
Yeah.
Street looks like, and I'm not going that way, sweetheart. I'm going to Chinatown.
Exactly.
If you're going to Chinatown, you could hop in.
Yeah. So, and then we have back-to-back cameos.
Right.
Dan Aykroyd, awesome. I really do think that was great. Then we have the mascot, the one character that had action figures and products, because the other guys would never sign off on their likenesses after a certain point. Slimer,
Right.
who really was a franchise at one point. The cartoon
Yep. Which
Got-
I own all the DVDs for.
got retitled as Slimer.
Yep. Slimer and the Ghostbusters.
Okay. What the hell?
I liked it.
I just thought that was a good.
They find him in the food cart again. All right, you're throwing back to the original.
Yeah.
The Slimer wife, I'll give you, it's totally out of place. But Slimer coming in and saving the day in the Ecto one, like, come on.
I just felt like that. It just totally felt forced. It felt. Look, I hate to say it. It felt like Batman vs Superman. Just felt like emails being opened with superhero
Hey,
logos.
that's fine. That's
And,
fine.
you know, it's
Batman vs Superman's flawed. Don't you dare try and talk trash to me with Batman Robin. Damn it. That movie is a classic.
No.
And I'll defend it until I'm dead.
No, I'm not. I'm a huge Batman and Robin supporter. You know,
I'll call myself Nightwing.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because I know you like the '60s.
Not
TV
even
show.
that. I was so young when that came
Yeah.
out that Batman and Robin was bright. It was colorful.
Yeah,
The villain.
well,
was,
I just always felt
and
that.
I do have the soft spot for that campy. Just
Yeah, but I always felt like if you updated the TV show, and if the TV
that's
show,
what it would. That
yeah, that's what it would
that's
be.
Joel Schumacher since then has said like this is my ode to or my
Yeah.
love
Well-
letter to,
well, here-
which I can get behind.
Well,
but-
here's the thing. He stepped in, aped a burden.
right.
Burden.
No, I watched
like-
the 20-hour documentary that came.
Oh, I
like,
haven't seen any of that. Yeah.
Really?
No, but
all the 2 discs come
No.
with it, and it goes from
Oh, I
like
haven't.
I was really into 3, I worked hard
Yeah.
on 3, all this, that, and the third, and then when you get to the 4th one and you put that second disc in with the journey, he's just like, the studio twisted my arm, they forced me into it. I swear to God, I'm sorry, I put nipples on the bat suit.
Yeah,
I lost my mind. They twisted my arm into it, and there was nothing I could do.
Look, I think sure, like maybe like
It
that
was
some
both
it,
of them,
but at the same point though, there's still so much
Right.
in that. Like how much, like I understand if they're like they twist your arm and they're like, we need another villain, and they're like, no, I have my story set. Look at these storyboards. It's set.
We want Bane.
McDonald's wants another cup.
Yeah.
We have 5 cups. We need 6. It's going to be a month and 2-week long promotion. I have my villain set. Look, asshole. Okay? Do it. Fine. But holy crap, does Batman and Robin have a lot that was intentionally childlike? And guess what?
They play hockey with a priceless diamond.
Yeah.
They're slapping it around
There's-
on ice.
There's also a Batman credit card.
Stay cool,
Yeah.
Batman.
So what was like? So was the studio like, hey Joel, you know, wouldn't it be cool if Batman had a credit card?
With an unlimited balance.
Yeah, and then like Joel's like, no, and just like, we have a deal with Visa. No, but there, but
Visa's paying you, Joel.
yeah, but there's no deal.
Fine.
But there's no deal with Visa, right? Like that wasn't part of the
Never leave the cave without it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that. That movie would resonate now if I think Schumacher owned up to it. Because you know what it is? Everyone owned up to Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been like a long history now, people owning up to that movie. That movie right now has a huge resurgence.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's
I bought it at Walmart. It
It's-
was $5.
it's just
I love that movie.
It's that
I always
movie.
have.
That movie's growing.
Mhm.
Okay, Batman and Robin like needs people, but everyone's like everyone's finger pointing still, and it's just weird because Batman Forever was lighter, but it was also dark,
Right.
and it was, I think at that point it had the highest opening weekend ever. I think it was 75 million. You know, back when Fridays were Fridays,
Right.
not Thursdays. Okay.
Mhm.
And they were like, hey, like, wow, we got like another superstar to make this franchise. Like, what do you want to do? And like, you made it lighter, and it was great lighter. So can you do more of that and just take that further? I really think that's how it went
Oh
down.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So anyway, so can we speed along here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I have work in the AM.
Yeah, okay. Same here. Okay. So Slimer, we're splitting that cameo.
Right.
We have a shot of a turned over New York City street. we have another product placement: Sobriety hot dogs.
Right.
Okay, so far this movie, 3 of its product placements are 3 of my favorite foods: Pringles, Papa John's pizza, and Sobriety hot dogs.
What does Leslie Jones say her not half as dumb as Hemsworth's cousin will work for? What kind of sausages? Because she says he'll work for Dietz and Watson or Jimmy Dean.
Yeah, I forget.
Or
She does. Yeah, we just watched it. Dude.
he'll work for whatever sausage.
Yeah,
Like-
it might have been a style of sausage.
Not worst or
Yeah, I'm not
know.
sure. It might have been a style.
maybe.
Yeah. Well.
Either way, her
yeah.
cousin will work for sausage. You call him if you need anything done.
Yeah.
He
So-
does good work.
So at this scene with the with these turned over hot dog carts,
Right.
With the umbrellas in full view, that's when I realized that I was like, mother effer, like the movie doesn't feel like New York, and the Sobriety hot dog like plug.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to New York, that's all you see.
Okay.
It's very like you're almost like, oh, was that intended? Did they pay for that? It doesn't matter. It's accurate. It's New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized I was like, this movie does not even feel like New York at all. Okay, so and then we have after this, guess what we have?
What do we got?
Ghost balloons. WTF?
Yeah.
Question mark? Question mark. That's what I wrote down. Ghost balloons. ... WTF? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark. There's a whole street of them. We have Stay Puft cameo. We
Right.
discussed that. Again, this is exactly what I wrote down. Cameos have little relevance similar to Phantom Menace. Okay. There was a little bit more with the 4. I still think 2 of the 4 have chemistry. I don't think the 4 of them do. And then here we go. Hemsworth ... WTF ... Another weird as fuck dance sequence.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we move into the best sequence of the whole movie. The Times Square sequence.
Right.
Okay, where you actually see them kicking ass. Right?
Right. Now they're
Tearing it up.
And the grenades, the shotgun, McKinnon's sequence is great with the retractable pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome sequence, dude. Awesome sequence. Too late.
Yeah.
But it was
all the actions in the last.
It's great though. It's such a great And then we have they go into the building. Here we go, another slime gag. I always feel like I'm the one walking in slime.
Right.
That's what Wig says. We have Kevin from The Office now making the second Office cameo of the movie.
Okay.
And then another movie first. The first time a logo comes to life.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Wait.
I don't know.
Simpsons did it.
Oh, I still have never seen that. Tell me how The Simpsons did it.
Well, one of their tree houses of horror, like Lart Lag, comes to life. Pretty much all the advertising comes to life. It tries to kill humanity until humanity just ignores them and they go away.
Like you can kind of argue that, like in Shrek 2.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm trying to
like
think.
the printed, like the.
I feel like it has happened. It's just very
It's just
rare.
weird. Yeah,
It's rare.
it's so.
We're talking like Page Master,
Yeah,
Macaulay
and-
Culkin,
and-
1987, fucking rare.
Yeah, and it's also it becomes like the villain to beat. It comes the big boss, the freaking logo,
Yep.
and they set it up.
Dude,
Like
He's in every cartoon for the real Ghostbusters
Yeah.
commercial segments.
Okay.
I love this guy. Now he's
So-
a dick.
Okay, and then I thought the ghost coming out of the building, growing through the building,
Right.
the logo was fantastic. Really cool sequence. They set up across the streams, portal, Slimer. I thought Wiggs jumping into the portal was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like that's what I mean. Like this movie ended on so many awesome high notes and visuals and things you never saw before, things you never imagined.
Mm-hmm. The movie is just way too sporadic.
And then
it's all over the place. You get 5 minutes you love, you get 10 minutes you hate, you get 15 minutes that are entertaining, you get 5 minutes that are boring. It's just too all over the spectrum. Which I realized this watch, and there were parts that I was like, I loved this the last time, and now it's not resonating. And then there were parts I was like, I didn't even catch this, and that's fucking great. Like Harold Ramis.
Yeah. And then they pull the two remaining girls, McKenna and Leslie Jones, pulls Miss McCartney and Wiggs through a power line or through a rope.
Right.
Through the portal.
Poltergeist style.
That's exactly, I wrote down dash poltergeist. Okay. And also white hair. Reference to poltergeist. Mm-hmm. Which I thought that was actually a decent gag. Later, they set up the president color.
Right. Which I totally forgot about watching it here. I was like, why is she a redhead now? Mm-hmm. And then just now I was like, oh yeah.
I thought that was funny. And McCarthy's like, oh, mine had a guy like this and or a girl like this. It's called Secrets and she's on the canoe. That's...
Mine was Garfield.
Yeah.
The president.
Not the cat. And so at that point, the movie, I almost feel like really should have been 90 minutes. I feel like they had enough there to cut that movie down.
Right.
The extended cut is maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes too long.
I have not watched the theatrical yet, so that will be the next outing.
Yeah, you think that could? For me. You think it being leaner would help?
Maybe, but then I feel like I guarantee you, her queef joke isn't in there.
Yeah, there's a side of me that really believes content is content.
Right.
And a good movie that has like Gladiator has like an extended cut. And you're like, okay, what's the difference? It's a good movie either way. Okay?
Right.
Even Aliens, good either way, great movie.
Right.
The Abyss, either way, good movie.
I'll take more footage if you got it. I'll take what you got without it.
Suicide Squad, I think, better extended.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, it just made, but the movie, it didn't change how I felt about the movie.
Right.
Kind of changed only one scene. Okay, but at the same time, it's still the same movie.
Right.
Because these people still. They're still on budget. They still have a time frame. So they only make so much, and they still make and put together scenes marching towards a goal, which is the blueprint of the screenplay.
Right.
So I don't really think I'm a little bit curious about the regular version, but at the same time I'm still kind of I kind of feel like I have my fill because this is. It was a struggle to get through the movie. Okay. And at the same time, it's not, I think if there was more of a appreciation into the material, it kind of carries over, but in no way is this better than 3 of the 4 Transformer movies. It's not any better than the 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. I'm trying to find things to compare it to. It's not better than Independence Day Resurgence.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but this is kind of, it's because you go into it.
It's an entertaining movie that has its flaws.
Yeah, and it doesn't work as a comedy. It doesn't work as an action movie.
It's not quite a horror. It's a little bit of everything. It's just not enough of something.
And I really think that's a little bit of the 80s Ghostbusters, maybe a little bit of the 80s RoboCop effect.
Right.
Where RoboCop is a weird effing mix. Gremlins is a weird mix, but
definitely.
But either way, I mean, I think we're going to sign off.
Sounds good.
Do you have any feedback, any parting words, and any last things you want to say about Ghostbusters 2016?
Slimer lives forever. I don't care what that other dimension is.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's a ghost. Why not?
Well, would you be opposed to getting excited for a Slimer-driven movie?
Well, no, I feel like I'd check it out. If they announced it. If they told me he was the main antagonist of the animated one that's in the works, I'd be behind it. Why not put a proton pack on him? Yeah. Werewolves hunt werewolves.
That's true.
Why not?
What is there anything? Is there anything you would want to see that would get you involved with a sequel?
You know, what would be really cool?
Tell me what would juice Norm's orange? What would juice the orange?
Definitely building a universe out of it. Still just building around what they have so far. All right, you did this. It wasn't a home run. It wasn't a grand slam. You still got on first base with it, let's just say. So now let's fill the stadium up. But things that would be cool, I mean, maybe the next movie's Four Guys. And then the movie after that is The Guys Meet the Girls. And it's East Coast New York meets West Coast LA. And it's a nationwide thing instead of just in New York.
It's kind of, you know what that sounds like? Fast and Furious.
I can see that.
Because, yeah, they did 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And basically 1 was Vin Diesel's, story.
And then Paul Walker.
So each one had, their own solo movie. Mm-hmm. And then the opposite direction, Tokyo Drift, 6 rolls around, right? Mm-hmm. Tokyo Drift takes place between 6 and 7. They wrap it all together.
Right.
Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Genius. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Four Guys are the ones that get turned the fuck inside out when they're talking about it in the government room with the mayor.
So here's
here's I wouldn't mind seeing Jonah Hill get turned inside out.
Yeah, here's what I would do. Okay, I would just put this movie, because you know what, people have their opinions about him. I feel like this guy, this talent,
mm-hmm.
has a community around him in Hollywood that helps him make movies.
Right.
His latest movie has been grossly under fire for not paying its animators.
Okay.
Where the entire budget of the movie possibly went to the voice actors and the animators got nothing. It's an animated movie. Sausage Party.
Mm.
Let Seth Rogen and his friends come in with these girls
mm-hmm.
and just do something.
Right.
Okay. Get James Franco in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just get these guys in the movie. They always are in each other's. Just make it happen.
Yep. Paul Rudd, James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel.
Yeah.
There's your male Ghostbusters.
I think. And I also feel like they do need Channing Tatum, possibly The Rock.
You make Channing Tatum their secretary. I want 4 guys with a buff secretary.
They need something like that in the movie.
Right.
Okay? Not even, break the format. Literally break the format. No Firehouse. No, a different Ecto-1. Make the Ecto-1 a monster truck. I don't really care. Break the if they do another one, they literally have.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about this until the end when they started to make it kind of go full circle.
Yeah,
was they weren't trying to remake Ghostbusters. So they took the idea of Ghostbusters and they were making their own movie,
and that's
which I appreciate.
That's one of the things they said from the very start.
And then they threw in the old guys hey, this will be an Easter egg, if you will.
So what was I didn't see this. What was the final credit sequence here? Did you see that?
I saw some of it. We saw Hemsworth dancing.
No, there's a post-credit sequence to this.
Is there?
It just rained while we were talking. Yeah.
Well, my back's to the TV,
okay.
So
Well, how about this? Let's sign it off.
Okay.
We'll talk about that sequence next episode.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
We are done here.